All right. We are live. I am just waiting for some people to show up and just give it a moment because it's like a delay.
So
So
will we see how many people are on, or?
yeah, I can see we have one person right now, and I'm just gonna get rid of this. Can you see the comments on the right? So you can
I
see
don't
them.
see any comments.
That's really weird. You should be able to see comments and everything.
Yeah, I have show chat on. I don't know.
And does it say comments on the right?
I have exit full screen and then show. Well, it's a chat. It's not
Yeah,
comment.
chat. That's it. That's what
Okay,
you.
yeah, it's on.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, share in the comments who you are and where you're from, everybody. I am here with medium Trina, and we're here to talk about cancer and her journey and this amazing doctor that she's found that is coming to Sacramento, and I want to share with everybody. So, definitely come check us out online and share with people who are going through a difficult time with cancer or other kinds of ailments that traditional medicine's just not working for. Like myself, I have severe IBS, borderline. I'm on IBD. I would say more on that spectrum of the disease. I've had it my whole life, and I'm really excited to meet this doctor. And I want to introduce you guys to Trina. If you don't already know her, I know a lot of my followers know Trina. So right now we just have a couple followers on right now. We're gonna just keep going. I think I'm gonna add this to Instagram. Let's go. Let me add Instagram. Give me 1 second here. But while I'm doing this, Trina, I want to you to share with everybody and tell them really about, because you found out you had cancer when. Like, let's start there.
Well, I found out that I had thyroid cancer, let's see, last November, so almost a year ago.
Okay.
And I ended up having a full thyroidectomy February of this year. And that thyroid cancer ended up being a rare cancer, but they caught it early. So I really thought I was off the hook. Like, yay, I'm cancer free.
Right.
Literally 2 days after I got the pathology back from the thyroid cancer, I was diagnosed with two blood cancers, which is also considered super rare. So the two leukemias I ended up with, you're not supposed to get together. And so the oncologist is like, you're really, really rare. So that's kind of how I found out. I just found out in February.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. And I'd heard something. Maybe it was in February. I can't remember. You had posted because you were trying to raise money to go to, I thought, Ohio.
Yeah, so that post was for the thyroid cancer, and I ended up in Texas.
Okay. Wrong state.
Yeah, to have a transoral thyroidectomy because I scar really, really, really bad. And
Yeah.
so there's a doctor in Texas who goes through the mouth so that it's a scarless surgery. And that's why I went there. Mm-hmm.
And then I just, because you're a medium like me, and sometimes when you're a sensitive soul, things happen, you know. Oops, sorry, I have to hit go live on Instagram. I thought I hit it and I didn't. So now we're live on Instagram.
Okay.
So things happen when you're sensitive and you just sort of know what your body needs, or you get these dreams or things like that happen. At least that's how it works for me. Or the angels, for me, the angels come and tell me like what I need to do. And it'll be usually like in a dream or an altered state. So what happened with you and how you came across this amazing doctor?
Okay. So,
Oh, wait. Before we preface that, what were your odds?
okay. So basically with what I have, so I have my leukemias are considered the chronic form. So chronic meaning slow growing. Versus acute form, which is really aggressive. So you hear a lot of people out there with acute leukemia and they're immediately starting chemotherapy and they've got weeks to live if they don't start chemotherapy. So I was blessed in that sense, I guess, that mine was more slow growing. And but eventually this would turn into acute if there's no intervention that is taking place. And so the oncologist, basically because mine's so rare, sent me to a different oncologist. and they wanted to start me on a chemotherapy pill. And it's a lifelong
Yeah.
chemotherapy. They basically give you the chemotherapy pill in hopes to slow the cancer down even more, to give you an additional 10, 15 years.
Right.
And so that's kind of what I was looking at.
But that's also, you had a bad reaction to chemo like my mother did.
I did. I
It
had
almost
a
killed my mom. Chemo
really
do that.
yes. I was only on the chemotherapy pill for 3 weeks, and every symptom you can imagine I got big, massive, red, bumpy rash on my face.
Yeah.
I was too much information, but I was bleeding. I was
No, it's not too
bruising.
much information. People
Yeah.
need to know. You
Hair
know,
was falling out, going dry. My vision was being affected. I was getting a lot of water retention around my eyes. Um, Body pains like you wouldn't believe. Like I couldn't sleep at night. I would have to get up and stand up next to my bed just to relax my legs, because my legs were constantly just agitated and irritated and painful. It just was not a fun experience.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, that you had to go through that.
So
But
I went off of it.
yeah, and then you share the rest now about how you found this amazing.
James Vidian.
Yes.
Yes. So I was in bed one night, and I was in my head about these leukemias. And, we can all run down that rabbit hole, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I was running down that rabbit hole really fast. Like, I'm going to die from this. I still have kids in the house. It's just going to progressively get worse. I'm not going to ever feel good again. I was just spinning.
Yeah.
And in the middle of that spinning, I hear this voice in my head that said, "Go to India." And I've heard that voice before. That voice has actually saved my eyesight in the past and has also saved my life. So I typically immediately listen to that voice. But my response was, and I said it out loud, "Go to India." I'm like, how am I going to afford to go to India? And I'm terrified to go to India. I don't know anything about India. I'm a, you know,
Yeah.
So I blew it off. I mean, I really did, which shocks me because I didn't blow it off the other 2 times that I heard that voice that did things for me, right?
Yeah.
And then it was literally 2 nights later, I decided to get on YouTube and research my leukemias. I wanted a better understanding about my 2 different leukemias. And before I could even find a video, there was a video up there, and underneath it, it said alternative treatment to leukemia. And I thought, well, that's kind of up my alley. So I clicked on it. And long story short, it was a girl, Jessica, who was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. They gave her 2 to 6 weeks to live unless she started chemotherapy immediately. And she did 3 rounds of chemotherapy. And then, like me, she's like, I can't do it. Not going to do it. So she quit, and she got online, started searching, and she goes, and I found this wonderful gentleman in India. Now, I mean, Kelley, seriously, I almost fell out of bed because just 2 nights ago I heard "Go to India."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I probably would too. Yeah. I mean, I totally would.
And so I listened to her story, and she went over the protocols that he put her on. And the protocols, to be quite honest, kind of freaked me out. And so again, I blew it off. So 2 months later, I wake up one morning and decide I need a tarot card reading today. I haven't had one in decades. I just was like, I need one. I need one. I need one.
I could see tarot card readings too. I mean, we got to have them, right?
Yes.
I like to get one every so often. I feel like we need to be validated.
Yes, exactly. So long story short, I found somebody, I went and had one, and I told her I wanted to look at my health, and I didn't tell her anything. And she turned over cards, and she said, I do see a health issue that you're worried about. I said, yes. And she goes, I see you have 2 doctors following you. And I go, yes, that's correct. Because I had 2 different oncologists at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, they don't know what they're doing. And I was like, I kind of shook my head. And she goes, so I don't know if what you have is unique or rare, She goes, but they really don't know how to proceed. And I go, yes, what I have is rare. And she goes, I see a third gentleman coming into play. He's from India. Find him. He can help you. Of course, I was like, all right, I need to look at this. Yeah. So I went home, looked up that video on YouTube, found his name. I emailed him, and he immediately emailed me back. And he said, as soon as you get your bone marrow biopsy results, send them to me. And he goes, I'll see if I can help you. And he, after all of that, he said, yes, I can help you. So
that's amazing.
A week later, I was in Prague because he sees a lot of patients in Prague. So I went to Prague. I've been there twice so far.
And tell everybody how you had to do that.
Huh?
What you had to do to get to Prague. I feel like that's really important.
Yeah, you know, my husband and I, after all the synchronistic events had happened, you know, we felt really strongly that I needed to be working with this beautiful gentleman. I just absolutely have so much respect for this man. And my husband cashed out his entire 401k, and that's how we're making it happen. And I got an emergency passport, and we went.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad in our world today that we have these treatments that aren't available to us with our regular health insurance, and that we have to bankrupt ourselves to save our lives. But that's what we have to do, basically. And it's very sad. I mean, you know, Allison's going through this too.
Yes.
I mean, she's basically right now, you know, bankrupt. Like, she's so sick she can't even work. It's sad to see that that's how our country treats the worst of the worst. Like when you have cancer, you know, it's not right.
Well, and they also aren't open to other avenues of healing. You know, so like I had a very serious eye condition that today I would be blind had I not followed that voice, and acupuncture actually saved my eyesight.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I agree, Kelley. It's very, very sad. And I do believe there needs to be a melding of Eastern and Western medicine.
There needs to be. And I think as like people, we have to advocate for ourselves. Like when my husband had cancer, we bought every book in the world of everybody who had cured themselves naturally, you know, and we were like reading everything, and we changed our diet. We did all kinds of stuff. Thankfully, he was stage 1, and we were able to remove it with surgery, and he's been cancer free now for, you know, 3 years, and we're happy. Yeah. And I don't think it'll come back, you know.
No, not if you did those lifestyle changes.
Yeah, we eat meat now again, but we stopped eating red meat for like 3 years, and now we eat a little bit once in a while.
Yeah, which is fine. And that leads me to probably I should follow the protocols. You know, if somebody looks up Jessica's video on YouTube, her protocols were much more strict than what he gave me. So depending on what it is he's treating, those protocols change. My protocols are, I can't eat meat. I had to go vegetarian, and no sugar. And he wants me to drink boiled water. So those are my protocols.
The warm water seems to be like a big protocol for like even Chinese medicine. They don't want me drinking cold water. Because I've been seeing a Chinese doctor,
right,
for my IBS, and he's like, no more ice water, no more ice, like just stay away from it. So I wonder what it is about the warmth.
I don't know. And he didn't say I had to drink it warm, although when I go to Prague, he definitely gives it to me in a luke, because I'm traveling, so I can't boil my water. So he gives it to me like room temperature.
Okay.
But I don't know because I haven't asked him that part. I should. I don't know if like they feel like it burns off all the like chlorine and chemicals, which would be hard for your body then to be as pure as possible. I don't really know.
That makes sense. Yeah. I'm just posting the link here in the comments for anybody who wants to join the talk. It is in person, but I'm actually, as we're sitting here talking, Trina, I feel like maybe we can do this with Zoom as well. Like put a Zoom camera in the front so that people can sign up on Zoom and watch the talk.
That's a good idea.
Moderate the laptop that's watching it, answer any questions.
That's actually really Yeah, it's a
So
really
I think we're going to open this up and make it a Zoom meeting as well if you can't make it, because I think it's really important for people to meet this doctor. I'm so excited that he's coming here to the US. Why don't you explain to everybody how this kind of happened and how generous he is and how he's working with like you and other people to help? Because I went to his website and he has a whole place on there for like if you can't afford it, he still wants to help you.
yes.
And
So
I love that. I love it.
yeah, so he practices a medication called Ayurveda, and now you can look up Ayurveda online, and you'll find a lot of Ayurveda medicine even here in the States, but it is not all the same. It truly isn't. In fact, a lot of people in the States have actually ended up with metal poisoning because people are putting metals in their Ayurveda medicine. So I wouldn't just trust anybody with Ayurveda medicine, but Ayurveda or Vedic medicine really was started and founded in India, and there's very few practitioners left in India that do true Ayurveda medicine.
Mhm.
The so James Vidian, he comes from a long line of family members that have passed this knowledge down to everybody below them.
Mhm.
And him and other men that work for him or work with him, they actually go out into the jungle and they find the roots and the plants that they need. And he orders other ingredients also, but they combine all of this stuff depending on the plant, depending on the root they need to treat whatever specific disease state that he's looking at. And they basically grind these by hand down. They put them in clay pots. They cook it into the they cook it in the ground. They cool it and they turn it into a powder. And so I take 5 different powders per day for my specific leukemias, and that's how they do it. And he'll check me. So to check me, he is trained into feeling the different energy lines of the body. And so what he does, let me get it in the camera, is he puts 3 fingers right here and
Oh.
he feels those energy lines. And based on how they feel, he can tell if they are healthy or they're not.
That's
So,
fascinating.
yeah, so when I go to see him, he'll check me multiple times a day, and that's all he's doing. And then he'll give me more medication. And then, of course, I bring medication home with me for the time in between that I see him.
And do you get stuck in ever in customs with the medication?
No, I was worried about that the first time because the powder comes in these little folded pieces of paper, and it looks like it could be drugs, but I've never
Yeah.
been stopped. And
Okay.
I do carry my medical papers with me, saying,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
But he's never been stopped. I've never been stopped.
that's
So,
good to
and we
know.
even had, when we came through the last time, there was a drug dog that came through and sniffed all my stuff and just kept on going.
Well, yeah, they're looking for drugs.
Hmm.
And that's not a drug. Yeah.
Exactly. No,
They're
it's
not
all
looking for
natural
yeah, they're
stuff.
not looking for natural stuff. They're looking I don't know, like I think they're looking for like cocaine and crack and
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, I don't know, heroin, like
Exactly.
the crazy stuff. So somebody put here, let's see, I just want to read this. Gwendolyn said a CEO from a medical company was in front of the Congress asking questions about the low medical cost in other countries, but they're charging the US people almost thousands of dollars for medication. The CEO blamed medical insurance on hospitals. Yes, Gwendolyn. Yes. I mean, my husband and I are going through a nightmare right now with our insurance and getting him prescriptions. They get to decide, not the doctors, how much they're going to approve or what you need. And that isn't right. Yeah, there's a lot, it's all about money. So they're trying to charge us $700 for our prescriptions out of pocket because the insurance won't cover it for my husband. Yeah, there's a definite breakdown in our medical system, and even with the education of the new doctors. And I don't know if people are aware of this, but it was on the medical journal. I get like all the news every day on my iPhone, and it was about a month ago, and it said in 5 years we will not have enough OBGYNs to treat women in the US because 50% of them will be retiring, and there are no new doctors wanting to go in this field because of politics. So they're all going in other medical fields. So we won't have women, we won't have the proper care. And it is, as it is right now, it's already like here in Sacramento, to get an appointment with my OBGYN is a 6-month wait.
Because I'm having a hard time even finding one. And my dad retired a few years early. He was an OBGYN. He retired a few years early because of the politics and how it was changing. So
so it's a real problem in our country. And as you know, when we get sick, like, we're our best advocates. I always tell my children this, like, we're our best advocates. You can't just sit back and listen to a doctor and believe everything they say, unfortunately. And as intuitives, like, I think we're a little bit extra sensitive. I've been able to diagnose almost everything that was major with my body because I felt it. And I had to go. I didn't care if I had to go. And this is at 19. I had to go to like 9 different doctors till I got diagnosed properly. I knew I had endometriosis. Don't know how I knew it, but I intuitively felt it in my body. And because of that, I was able to have children, but I still struggled getting pregnant after that surgery. You know, that was in the 80s.
Well, and also didn't mean to cut you off, Kelley, I'm sorry, but
no,
how many, like the medications too, the side effects, like the doctor for my eyes was like, you need laser today, and it was going to already start the blinding process. Thankfully, I didn't fall for it. To this day, it's been 11 years. I've never had laser. I mean, and the chemotherapy, it's hard on the heart. It's hard on the kidneys. It's hard on the liver. Now there is a place for that, though. I don't want to come on here and be like, you know, Ayurveda medicine with James Vadian is the cure-all for everybody.
No, but it might be what's good for, you know, for somebody out here, and that's why we want to share this information.
Right. And Jessica, I actually reached out to her. Now, you guys remember, like, they gave her 2 to 6 weeks to live. She's 10 years out, cancer-free. I found her and I spoke to her. James Vadian cured her leukemia, her acute leukemia.
That's amazing. And I think that, you know, people should look into this and they should come to our talk. I'm going to convert the talk to in-person and online. I will have it on my laptop at the shop, and I will have the camera pointing towards him, and I'll moderate. So I'll sit in the back.
Okay.
And that way we can get the whole talk and everybody's questions, and if people have questions online. So I will be setting that up today. So if you want to register online, and I will get the talk set up to be in Zoom, and I'll email Zoom link to anybody who wants to go on Zoom. And if you can come in person, come in person.
Yeah, because he does treat other ailments. He's coming to America this time to see me because people have heard me talk about him, and they want consults with him to see if he can help them with their certain ailments. So I've got many consults set up so far for him, but that's why he's coming to America. And I do feel blessed. I have to say that before I forget, I've seen other things improve in my body.
Yes.
The leukemia is a slow progression of getting better. He says 1.5 years. And I'm kind of just a few months in. But what I have noticed is I had a full knee replacement and a rod put up my femur because I split and shattered my femur 15 years ago. 3 years ago, I had that knee replacement and rod placed. I have had nothing but pain and swelling in that knee every single day. Every night it woke me up. I'd hop when I'd get out of bed until it warmed up. And just 4 weeks on his meds, I noticed I don't have any knee pain. I don't have any knee swelling since I started his meds. I don't even think about my knee.
I need this because my knee's a mess.
And I had high eye pressure. Well, it was on the high end. It was in normal, but it was on the higher end. Well, I had my eyes checked 3 weeks ago, and now I'm on the low end in the normal range. That has not happened in 20 years. And I'm like, it's this medication.
Yeah, no, it is. There's something to it. You know, we have to look at these alternative medicines because they've been around longer than our are Western medicine, and they were curing people
Yep.
for thousands of years. So, Western medicine, a lot of it, and a lot of our medications they have gotten from these alternative medications, and then they've put them into these pill formats with their pharmaceutical way that they do it, and then marketing off of it and selling it. For example, I have a friend whose husband got diagnosed with high blood pressure in his 30s, quite young, and high cholesterol, and they wanted him to take this cholesterol medication, which this was 15 years ago. At the time, the cholesterol medication was very expensive and the insurance wouldn't cover it. It was like $300 a month. She did a little research herself and found out that it was all natural products in that medication. Went and bought all the natural products, put it on his food and in his diet, made all of his food, and within 30 days his blood pressure was back to normal, his cholesterol was back to normal, and the doctors are like, how did you do this? And she's like, well, I used the same stuff, but I did it naturally.
Yeah.
So and the thing is that once they put it into these pills formats, they're not always like, they've been altered. They're not natural anymore. There's like other things and other chemicals they were putting into our bodies, and how do we know what they are?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't. I'd rather have the natural.
Yeah, we don't. And and I can say, he is a very, very, very nice man, and he will tell you if he can help you, and he'll tell you if he feels like he can't. He's very honest in that. And and when I asked him about price, he's like, he does not like to talk price. He just wants to help people. He does deserve some payment because he does have to buy ingredients, and they work really hard. But he's very workable with what people can afford and what they can do and what they can't. He's definitely not somebody out just to be making money.
Right. Yeah. And I think, when you do the work that you're passionate about, and I Googled him, his family name, the last name, there's like a lot of people that are doing healing with that last name. Yeah. Is that all his family? I wanted to ask you that.
I don't know. I will ask him. I just know that his dad, his grandfather went up the line because it's a 4,000-year-old medicine way of doing medicine. Yeah. So he just has, I know it just goes up the line.
Well, it's amazing. I wanted to share this with everybody. The date of our event that he is coming to Moxie Crystals. Here's the link. It is purehealing.eventbrite.com. You can register, even if it's going to be, if you want Zoom, even though it doesn't say Zoom, I'm adding it just so you guys know. And you can join us on Zoom. I just thought of it as we're talking.
Yeah, I know.
But I feel like that would be great because I feel like a lot of people could really, learn from this and maybe even want to travel to, does he meet you in Prague or did you go all the way to India?
So he gave me the choice of either. I chose to go to Prague because it's closer. Okay. But I also think that if there was enough people here needing treatment, he would probably come here more frequently. Mm-hmm. But I'll end up going back and forth because I'm on such a long road. I had a fatty liver due to the diabetes, and he added medication in the last round for me. My liver enzymes are now in normal range, so I probably wouldn't need that treatment. So depending on what it is you want treated, like there's a few people that are going to see him this round for their hypothyroidism.
Okay.
Treat that as well. And that's going to be a much shorter treatment. So, he's open to traveling. So if somebody is needing to be followed and maybe couldn't go there, I'm sure that he would come back here.
And you said you were setting up consultations for people when he gets here.
Yes.
Add me to that list.
Yes, I have you on that list.
But for my severe IBS.
Yes, because he's going to treat my son. He's going to see my son also for that same element this time. And then I have like 2 hypothyroids. I've got one with cancer. I've got one who doesn't know. I've got another one that just wants to take care of her inflammation. I have another one that is doing fatty liver. So he's filling up for sure.
Okay.
but you are on that list for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah, I'm totally open. I was seeing Chinese medicine doctor earlier this year because my husband put his back out and we were getting acupuncture, and they had me on all these herbs, and they had me putting this funny thing in my belly button and then like a little band-aid over it, and I sleep with it at night, which was really funny. But I'll be honest, they did something and they were helping. And I had to stop because it was so expensive, and we had to, take a step back. We couldn't afford that much money every month. But I'm really open to this as well. I've been to India, and I'm fascinated with a lot of their medical system and the way their natural healing, they're healers. But also, you were talking about this here. When we were in India, we learned from a palm reader who does the Vedic style palm reading, and they actually read these lines here as well as your fingerprints, like
mhm.
this, whichever. There's different types of fingerprints. They have a much more detailed like palm reading system that fascinated me, and it tells you all your ailments. They can tell just by looking
Yeah.
here, and they were so accurate. The lady looked at my hand and she's like, "Oh, you don't have your gallbladder. Oh, you've done this," and she just knew everything. I mean, it was crazy, but it was so accurate. And I mean, I didn't know this woman. I'm from
Yeah,
you know?
it really is amazing to watch them work, and I
Yeah.
do feel very thankful that he's coming here. Um, I hope that he'll come back, but
Yeah.
I
This could be a once in
although
a lifetime opportunity. So I want to
yeah,
highly
I know.
recommend
Yeah.
people sign up now, get registered for the event. Right now, we actually just came up with the idea. She approached me, what was it, Friday last week,
Mhm.
to host him at the store. So this is like a last minute kind of event. I just threw on the books. It's the same day as my holistic fair at the store. So if you are in Sacramento, you could spend the day with us getting readings and healings, and then come hear the talk at the end, because the holistic fair is from 11 to 3, and then the talk is 3:30 to 5. So if you just wanted to come hang out with us at the crystal store, that's the day. And that's Sunday, October 6th.
Mhm. And
And
he is gonna be covering also meditation, his meditation technique,
mhm.
and also I can never say it, prana, like breathing.
Yeah. I will read it to you because you got it down. Let's see if I could say the word. Hold on.
I can't
Uh,
say it.
I know I'm bad with reading these words sometimes too, but prana, is it prana?
I think maybe.
Pranic breathing or healing. Let's see. Uh, it's in the description. I'm going to read it to you right now. Hold on. I'll read everybody the description of what this talk's going to entail. It's an hour and a half talk. It'll probably go over. Everything goes over when I'm around. Um, so it says, "Are you a wellness seeker, yoga enthusiast, or follower of holistic health?" And this, so we're gonna be speaking with Pure Healing. That's what he's called, with his Vedic tradition of India. And let's see, meditation techniques, pranayama,
Yeah,
a
that's
yogic breathing technique that involves controlling the breath to improve physical and mental health, and discover how to harness your prana life force through various breathing exercises to rejuvenate your body and mind. Ayurveda basics, get introduced to the foundational concepts of Ayurveda. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a holistic system of medicine that originated in India. Understand how imbalances in the body, mind, and consciousness can lead to disease, and how Ayurveda offers natural solutions for restoring harmony and health. And then there's a testimonial for James that comes from Trina, but I'm sure he has a lot of them. He doesn't have a very big internet presence. He seems very modest.
very.
And oh, I love you too, Gwendolyn. He seems very modest. That's the holistic fair, everybody. He even has a modest facility in India that I saw.
Very.
And he
Yeah.
takes donations, and he does it. From my understanding on his website, if you don't have the money, he doesn't want you to worry about it. Like, reach out to him still.
Mhm.
And he'll do what he can. Like, he is in it to help people, it sounds like. And that really got me when I read that. I just thought, he's not here just to make money.
And he's going to be showing pictures and videos of at the class of kind of the process, so you guys will get a good understanding of what they do. So,
well, I appreciate you coming on,
yes,
Trina. I'm excited for Sunday. I hope you're feeling up to it and you're able to not be overdoing it that day, because I know it's been a lot on you. But everybody, thank you for joining us today. Please share about our event. Join our event if you can. We would really love it. And if not, maybe we can make the video available to people after the fact. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely sign up. And if you sign up and you don't make it and we do it on Zoom, it will be available to those who signed up. So we'll see. But I look forward to this.
Yes, it's going to be great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Wait right there.